Hello everyone, it is Joe here from OmniPoke, the channel that brings you guys everything Pokemon. If you're looking for PTCG live codes, make sure you check out the Potown store. You can get a 5% discount on your orders using that code OmniPoke. For today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the Joltik toolbox, where we use Jolting Charge from Joltik to get energy flooding around our board as quickly as possible, with the key threats being Iron Hands EX to amp you very much through the lower hit point Pokemon, and the Pikachu EX trying to Topaz Bolt through the higher hit points multi-prize Pokemon in the format. With this two in combination with some other type coverage attackers and possibly even Miraidon EX, if you really want to have something into opposing basic EX builds, we have a lot of coverage for the format. Iron Hands can get us moving very quickly with a prize race, even if our opponent is slow building their evolutions in the back, and then we have the type coverages to try and see us through. Most notably, we have Lillie's Clefairy EX, which is just a Crispin away from attacking, but also bear in mind we have E-Switch in this list as well for an Arven option to get it down in one go. So that we can give Dragapult EX a weakness, and suddenly we have a Full Moon Rondo that can easily KO the Dragapult. And also, once again, because there's the E-Switch in the list, there's Crispin, E-Switch, and then we can copy with Mew EX as well. Sometimes that can be devastating, because with Lily's down, Mew can take sometimes 3 prize KOs on the Dragapult by also sprinkling on your opponent's bench at the same time by stealing their Dragapult's attack. And then we have the grass type coverage for Iron Leaves EX. This is becoming more relevant because there is Dragazard in the format as just one of the other Dragapult variants, which is sort of picking up in popularity. And also there's Grimmsnarl EX as well. So having that Rapid Veneer, being able to yoink energy from other Pokemon. It's very often that Grimmsnarl can't reach on our Pokemon in the early turns. Like the 230 for Iron Hands is really annoying for them. Even a Defiance Band can't get through this Mon. So you very often have Grass Energy stashed on Iron Hands, and then the Rapid Veneer can yoink them for himself, and suddenly we're KOing Grimmsnarl as a follow-up immediately from an Amp You very much, and that can really help us get ahead against the Grimmsnarl matchup, which is very promising. We do also have the Galvantula grass-type attacking option as well. This can KO Zard and it can KO Grimmsnarl as a single prize option, and there are times where your opponent will ignore Joltik just to help their prize map, right? One of the main strengths of this deck is you'll Jolting Charge, and then if you give up just the single prize, that's a free turn that you've bought because you're never going to put an additional single prize Pokemon into play. You're forcing a 7 prize game essentially, which means that if we take the initial knockout, very often our opponent is looking to counter Catcher or Boss's orders and target our 2 prizes instead, which means Joltik sits around. That's why the E-Switch is powerful, that's why Galvantula is powerful in the deck, because it means that we can force that single prize later on in the game, or at least use the energy that we've stashed on Joltik for later in the game to then continue our burst of attackers throughout the entire set. So yeah, that's really the main ideas around the deck. We have those type coverages. I'm also playing the Vitality Band, so Pikachu can hit 310 into Gardevoir. There's a bit of a tug of war right now whether or not a tool is more useful just because it's accessible via Arven, or if you want to have something like Gravity Mountain or possibly multiple in your deck so that you can deal with multiple stage 2s and not rely on the type coverage. One of the issues of Clefairy, of course, like firstly it can be prized, but secondly, you're getting Iono down in those matchups, so you still need to have the specific combo of Crispin plus Ball Search or Ball Search plus E-Switch plus Energy, right? So it's all multi-draw situations that you have to do to formulate the Clefairy, unless you can proactively put it into play, Bravery Charm, etc. So there are situations where it's just a hassle for you to deal with, rather than a Gravity Mountain, which you can just like naturally draw. The issue is you can't search the mountain in any way, so you just have to find it from restart and from flip the script. But bear in mind the Dragapult players play like 1, 2, or 0 stadiums. Gardevoir's similar as well. So there are situations where if you were to play multiple Gravity Mountain in the deck, you can be the one dictating that stadium war, because very often these decks will rely on Artisan early game anyway, so they're going to put it into play when they see it rather than hold it for a bounce in a lot of those situations. So right now I'm stadiumless, but you could easily have those mountains in there. The Vitality Band, not just good for Pikachu reaching the 310, it also helps Miraidon attack that a little bit easier for 230, and that's a little bit more like chainable than a Topaz Bolt as well, so you can sort of like, rather than like loading your gun and then completely unloading for a 2 prize KO, the Miraidon sits in play, forces respect, and has to be KO'd, which then means you keep your Fez and Mew on the bench. It's a small thing, but it can be quite relevant here and there into other basic attacking EX decks. The booster gives us free retreat on hands and also the Iron Leaves, don't forget, and also buffs our damage output that little bit more. So Future Booster can hit that 140. That can help you get through like Spidops, for example. So could the Vit Band and a few other of the higher hit point basic mons. The Bravery Charm can help around spread damage approaches, which there are so many decks in the format that can do that, but also just staying out of range of certain numbers as well with the Bravery Charm, always a pretty decent deal. Sometimes even Bravery Charming your Joltik, so there's not a free Monkey Dory prize, because again, you're protecting that energy is sometimes relevant to keep the E-Switch live. But that's really it. We're trying to vomit energy into play with an early Jolting Charge and Crispin, just to get all of these flavors of energy rolling, and then we're trying to chain those attacks, oftentimes coming out the gate swinging with Iron Hands, and then having the follow-ups of Pikachu and Bloodmoon Ursaluna, also a really important finisher in the deck that can, you know, for 1 or 0 energy, get that efficient boss prize, because we're very good in the deck at keeping Arven for Prime Catcher plus boss's orders as our late game win condition when the opponent has their Fezandipiti, their Latias, their Mew in play. That can always be like, that's my perfect map to close a game with Bloodmoon. So that's very much on the table in a lot of these matchups, and that's why it's such a powerful and integral card to have in the deck, because it means you can be very greedy and very proactive with your energy, knowing you have the Bloodmoon fallback to take those last couple prizes. So very aggressive archetype, very simplistic in what it does, but very effective at the same time. I think other than the Mountain, the other card you could consider in the deck is the Iono as well. I'm playing no Hand Disruption and just saying, you know what, Hand Disruption's pointless in a deck like this. I never want to Iono myself, typically, and it's like sort of copium to try and avoid, but you can go for that if you really want to, just to have a one-of in the deck, because you do have those Pokégears, so even one copy sometimes you can find in those panic situations and sort of cross your fingers, but so frequently opponents are going to have enough draw power in play that you're still going to get wrecked regardless. But it would be the only way to refresh your hand. Similar thing, like one research in the deck, not the worst thing, just to have an option there. And beyond that, maybe some other tools you could consider. I don't like the goggles, by the way. Some people are trying to use that as a tech for Raging Bolts, but the Raging Bolt decks play Jamming Tower anyway, and like, yes, you force them to have it, but they have Noctowl, so why bother? And if you want to play any other stadium, like you could play Watchtower yourself, because Raging Bolt's a really bad matchup, but again, you don't have draw power for it, outside of Mew and Fez, so it's like impossible to find that freaking card in time, and they have Noctowl to find their stadium, you know, like just even if they want to hold it in hand, something like that. So yeah, I feel like it's not the best stadium that you could be adding. I think it's Mountain or nothing in the list, really. But yeah, overall, simplistic strategy, decent deck. I could also consider a second Mew in the list as well, just because it's such an important card, especially with the quad Ultra Ball. Again, like, you lower the hand size so frequently that restart is like your most punishing prized mon, and it's a good lead as well. So I could also see wiggling a space for this card as well. Let me know your thoughts down below, though, and enjoy the games. So we win the flip and opt to go second. We, of course, want to use our Jolting Charge immediately and then get attacking as quickly as possible, giving our opponent one less supporter to play with. So we get to go second in this first game, which is definitely ideal for the deck. We want to get that Jolting Charge off. Importantly, we give our opponent one less supporter to play with before we start launching those attacks. We have a mulligan straight away. And then we have a hand with a lot of Ball Search, which is awesome. Ball Search really just gets this deck rolling very quickly. Most of our draw power actually comes from abilities, not from our supporters, so pretty big deal. Our opponent is playing a Dragapult deck. And they kick things off with a Poffin. A classic maneuver. Double Poffin is a great opener for them. It's a Dustoir build. Okay. Energy to Dreepy. And pass to us. Fine. More Ball Search. Okay, we have the gang. The gang and a half. We do have Miraidon. We have Hans, Joltik, and Pikachu all available. We have Clefairy and Mew. Do we have E-Switch as well in here? Yes, we do. Very good. Let's make our Miraidon and then make Iron Hands and Joltik. Don't need to attack with Galvantula in this matchup, so I'll just swing the Psychic. No, the Psychic's the most valuable card for Clefairy. Yeah, let's attach the Grass to Joltik. And got to think about playing this Nest Ball just for Mew proactively or for Fez proactively. I think I like having Mew on the board because it's a great attacker to hack. with Crispin Switch, which is a bit of a combo, but it can come together. And let's just... do I want to draw cards? Yeah, I do, because I don't have supporter. So let's also make the Clefairy proactively. Because we have Night Stretcher in the deck, right? Yes, we do. So let's just try and draw a supporter or a gear. Very good. I can now Arven for Bravery Charm, which is definitely a big piece. Could also just take gear to hand. At this point, yeah. Feel like that's the move. Bravery Charming Clefairy now, or save it for potential onto the Mew if I do get my attack in with it. I think just Charm the Clefairy now. And we just charge up. And I'm still going to go all 4 to the hands because I don't have energy in hand. Oh, sorry. I want the energy to go to Clefairy, not to Iron Hands, if that makes sense. Like, otherwise I would do a 3-1 split this way. But I always want the Psychic to go here, never on here. The opponent has a TM Evo turn. Seems good. Seems pretty good. They're just going double cloak. Sounds like a move. Energy to Clefairy is good. Boss is good. Say less, I guess. Let's draw our card. Nest Ball for Fez at some point will be decent. And in comes the Amp You Very Much. We're representing pressure from 2 Mons here. Both Hands and Clefairy are really threatening. Ultra Balls are great to see. They can filter this hand down if I need to draw with restarts. Some more cards. I imagine the energy on Joltik stays for E-Switch shenanigans. It's always good. The opponent can Nest Ball out Fez here, which gets them some card draw going. See the Recon. They finally have access to Stamp or to Iono. Townstall gives us access to more tools. Night Stretcher back for the active. Recon coming in. They're going to town store a crystal, but they've already... Oh, they could attack with this one, I guess. Yeah. Here we go. Ooh, they get to switch as well and keep the energy around. That's good. Counter catch Clefairy. Yep. It's just an Ino. Oh, they don't have Stamp, obviously, because they're playing Crystal. And do they have access to Dusclops in addition to Dragapult EX here? That's the big question. Well, there's your Dragapult. Nest Ball comes in as well. for Mew EX. Interesting. They're going to get a cheeky Mew draw. Interesting build. Townstorm, Mew. Just the Phantom Dive, so no Clops action just yet. And they're spreading this way around. Got ya. Okay, let's thin with Town Store. And we still have a number of energy in the deck to pull out here. With Crispin. I am going to attach lightning to active to bench. I really don't want them to take the Mew though. I guess I just put it here. Oh, that just makes no sense. Yeah, Mew's fine. And we'll attach Metal Active. That's fine. And we'll go down to 2. The opponent has 1 blast that they can use. Let's see where they can get with it. They have to find Dragapult energy. Certainly some counter catch shenanigans. Candy Clops is Candy Dustomar's good. They can't win this turn, but they can take off. They can get rid of like Hands and Clefairy on the same turn. They can already do that. As long as they find a gusting play. Here's a restart for 2. Into a flip the script. Can they find Counter Catcher first of all? And EX. And maybe Iona required as well. There's a lot here. Bloodmoon is only good news for me. Looks like they're putting it down just before they draw a fresh 6. They're Curse Blasting first. I suppose they can Curse Blast Mew if they don't have Counter Catcher. Oh, they Curse Blast active. That's pretty odd. I don't mind giving them Miraidon here. I want to keep the energy around on Joltik, so I don't just want to give it to them, right? I mean, they're never taking Joltik. Candy Clop. Sorry, I keep saying Clops. Candy Dustawa not relevant here because they lose on the spot. And they don't have Iono or Countercatcher. So we have a gear that can find Arven or Boss for Prime after using Fez for some cards. Oh no, I can't win with hands. I have to win a different way. Oh, I can win with hands just for arm press. Yeah. Let's do this. Let's thin with tandem units. Then let's flip that script. Arven is just game with Optimus Prime. Nice win against Dragapult. They had an interesting build as well. Pretty cool. Alright, we opt second. And we have the Joltik start with some ball search cards, which is looking good. Leaves in the hand. See. We see a Teal Mask Ogopon, and if it's Raging Bolt, it's by far our worst matchup. This is the main reason why Joltik Box isn't higher tier in my opinion. Joltik is really poor into this matchup. And if you're thinking you can play the protective goggles on your Pikachu, they play Jamming Tower anyway, and they have Noctowl, so it's pretty difficult to justify that tech card that I've seen some from some players. We see the Ultra Ball. It's Squawkabilly. If it's the Turbo list, that's good for us, so they can't cherry pick pieces with Noctowl. They have a bit less control over what's happening. Area 0, then the Squawk and Seize. Teal Dance coming in. Small bit of good news, there's a Squawk in play for us to maybe amp for 3. So if they do use a Slitherwing, it's not over for us in terms of a prize race. Because I can take the Slither for 1 and Squawk for 3. And because it's a turbo build, actually, there's no guarantee that they can prime KO around this Joltik. So we actually have a chance because of this build. Because exactly it's not Noctowl, we have a chance. Let's make our hands and peak. I lost connection. Hello? Please. Work with me here. Work with me. Okay, good. I was getting confused because a Terror was coming out. I see. Let's Jolting Charge up. And optimistically, I'm going to put 2 on peak and 2 on hands. If there were a Noctowl build, we would be completely sunk by a Slitherwing play. But now it's unlikely that they can find Sada and Prime. They have an Iono. Wow. Oh, Nest Ball Crispin. We can KO with Clefairy. That would be huge. See, Teal Dance. Honestly, they should probably retreat here. Taking 1 has to be terrible for them. Oh, they're just in the bin. They're in the bin! Let's go peak. And let's just do the Clefairy thing. We're drawn into a couple of lightning energy, which actually means we should retreat the peak with a grass, knowing that we can Crispin again. Psychic into play. Lightning attaches, probably bad because I want that the arm press option. So we're retreating the grass. I think I can also thin out some chaps. Honestly, I think I just keep thinning. Yeah. Thinning is winning. Let's Rondo. Would have been ideal if I could have kept the second energy on the peak, but we're ahead. And we have a chance. Fez is a pretty good prize to take as well. We see Sada from the opponents. They can reload some bolts. More and more bolts. They have a flip the script. Do see an Earthen Vessel, gonna get rid of a Mew. See a teal. And a teal. Ultra Ball coming in. They're grabbing a bundle. Surely they have to do with Clefairy. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure it's just boss arm press the Squawk here. And again, it's that boy Bloodmoon that might be our savior. I will stretch a Clefairy just to give them some fear. I can't do it because I can't move the hands, but we can just do this. And press our arms. Surprised I haven't seen a Slither yet. They've already played Iono, but they can PAL pad and try and Iono us. But I imagine I'm sat on... Oh, okay. Iono comes back. Can they find it? They have flip and some dances. Dance and flips. Superior gets them some more draw. There's the dance. There's the dance. Do they find Iono? Night Stretcher. Is that Mew? Now, you would expect me to go to Pika here, but it's actually better for me to give him Miraidon and 2 prizes than to give him the potential Slitherwing KO and I don't get Fez draw. So it's actually better for me to not, like, try and tank here. I don't want to get knocked out by Burn. Because I haven't used supporter yet and they could have started and attached and made a little guy. Slithery boy. There's the Bravery Charm. So now I do... Ooh, there's the Prime. Prime Clefairy? Yep. There's the Superior. They're just going to take 1 and restart for as much as possible. Yeah. They're working hard for the Iono. Just a Sada, though. Which actually isn't game yet for me. Wait, is it? Jamming Tower actually stops me winning with a Gust on Baby Bolts with a buffed Iron Hands with Arven getting Prime Catcher plus Tool buff. Yeah, Arven would have been game otherwise. Here comes the big bellow then. And I think it's down to flip the scripts. The jamming stopped us arm pressing Mew for game and amping the Baby Bolt for game here. I'm going to have a look in the deck first. So we don't have Bloodmoon. But Crispin is just game, right? Yeah, Crispin's still game. I forgot that I can hit like a truck. I also wouldn't have had to get around the jamming tower stops the charm anyway, so we can simply bolt through him. Well, it's not how it normally goes, but it's a win nonetheless. We take it. Alright, our opponent is opting to go... Oh, sorry, we chose them to go first. And we have a good old Joltik start with Vessel, with Arven. Sounds good to me. And we see a Fezandipiti. Could be all sorts. Nest Ball coming in. Mirror, but we got to go first. Oh, sorry, we get to go second. I think we take that. Taking a unit out, Joltik plus Peak. Energy's Joltik. And it's over to us. Okay. Ooh, we draw energy, so I don't even have to Vessel. That sounds good. Nest Ball, and I think Vit Band is my best take here, so I can power up Miraidon itself. That would make me have a boss play and it also... Well, I am holding Prime. No, I think I still take the board here. And still just put 3 onto hands. Have a look at some more stuff actually. So we prized our Fez. We prized 2 boss. We do have our other energy. Okay. Fine. Peak and hands. And it's going to be the classic 3 to hands, 1 to Pikachu. So that I can just amp their Joltik when they Jolting charge us. We do see a Crispin from them, which which is not too shabby. Psych Energy Metal. Oh, they have to retreat their Fez this way. Yikes. And they're just jolting to peak, which is the right thing to do when you go first in the mirror. You just say, I'm just going to Pikachu a bunch and make me gust around him and ignore him and all that other stuff. Because he's a big guy, and he has a lot of energy. Draw another Arven, which is solid. Just for getting down a Mew, I think. Pretty sure I'm burning the capsule here with my vessel. I might just take Bravery. Okay, let's Nest Ball out Lil Mew. I think I'm vesseling away hands. Taking Psychic and Grass. Keeping Lightning in the deck, keeping Metal in the deck for Crispin peak plays. The only thing is, Grass is pretty terrible to attach. But I think we just accept that. Okay. Let's do this, let's do this. Do you want to charm anywhere? Just in case he wants to Photon Blast a Mew. I think it's like this. And then we amp very muchly. Fez being one of our primary prize cards to take. Nope. And Boss is not the one we're looking for either. Peak is ready to go. Ready to just announce attack, attack, attack. They have new Fez developed. They're also going to try and protect their Fez. They can unit out another Peak just to thin if they want. Nope, they're going to take nothing. Flip the scripts. They can play the Arven. Just help out for next turn. Board the Miraidon, why not? And they're going to take 2 on Iron Hands. So we need to gear into Crispin here, because we can go Crispin Prime, and then our final prizes will be Bloodmoon Boss. So we're holding game as long as gear doesn't whiff, basically. E-Switch also gives me... Wow, E-Switch Energy Boss is even better now, because I can keep Prime in the deck. Wow. But I think Crispin is still my best supporter. Crispin Prime, is that better? Spend the Prime. No, I think E-Switch Boss is still better, honestly. Let's have a look in the deck. Can thin this with no headache. I can't put down the Bloodmoon proactively. Actually, can I? Because I'm holding Prime in hand, so they'd have to boss the Bloodmoon and KO with Peak. And then Gear for Arven would still be game. But I feel like... So, otherwise they just Iono and I have all these outs for Ball Search. But I'd have to have it alongside Arven or Boss anyway. Let's think about this. Putting Bear down proactively plays around the hand disrupt, but plays worse into... the Gust, right? And they have to Gust around this Pikachu. So they're going to go Gust Mew, KO, hope that I don't have Boss Bloodmoon in hand, basically. Yeah. I think we just do this, and they think they're in a good position here, honestly. If they have Lightning Gust, they probably think they're winning. But I'm winning just from my hand, specifically. There's the Fez. They can Ultra Ball. They're fitting for Mew EX here. Pokégear finds Arven, so they can Prime Catcher. I was not expecting Super Rod Bravery Charm. They have to move our guy, right? They have Prime already in hand as well. I'm very confused. Okay, they did have Prime. Or they found Prime and got really lucky. Who knows? I'll pretend that they played the right way around. They also... Oh yeah, they can't Blood Moon me, I guess. Too risky. But we were holding the goods all along. Unfortunate. They were doing the right thing, though. If you go first in the matchup, you let them take the first two and just say that you have to get around Peak a bunch. Definitely the right thing to do from them. But we had the specific hand that just happened to beat them. One of those things. Our opponent is forcing us to go first. We do have a decent start, though. We have Energy, we have Ball Search. It's about all we can ask for. Ace Nullifier. Uh-oh. We do not want to face our Prime Catcher getting nullified. We would hate that. It's an Ace Spec for a reason. Alright. Prizing one Lightning, prizing one Grass. Okay. Let's unit out some boys. And I think it's a cheeky T1 attached to hands. So cheeky. Let's pass. Learn more about our opponent's deck, whether it's straight Pult or something else. Marnie's Grimmsnarl with the Genesect?
Spicy. There's our good friend Maractus. And we see the grasping draw. We have energy. We have some friends that probably don't want to get cornered. I'm going to grab Rescue Board for what it's worth. I think gear comes to hand here. And let's charge up. I think I'm going one to Miraidon and the rest to hands. Let's try this. Our opponent's going to Artisan. Is it just pure Frost Monkey? Looks like it's pure Frost Monkey. Prime Catcher's been nullified, so we need to keep our board space open for Iron Leaves as our other alternate switching card. And we generally just have to be careful of what comes into play here. They can burn the Evo and just grasp. Okay. And in comes the first Freezing Shroud. Let's Arven. Grab our Rescue Board and our gear again. I like protecting the energy on Joltik just in case they want to try and corner it. I can evolve up and retreat, or just attack with Galvantula as well. I think I'm just attaching Metal to Peak. And we'll take our first two. Counter catchers are now live. Corner is on the table for them. So we've been warned. Shroud is coming in. The monkeys are getting nice and revved up. Counter catcher as expected. Pika in the place. Nest Ball coming in for another monkey. And the research. They value third monkey over Snorunt. Interesting. They do have a stamp. This could buy them some time. The good old Stamperoonie. Yeah, I think I'm passing. We see Adrenabrain. Onto Miraidon. See an Arven as well. They can Night Stretcher for more Adrenabrain. And it's coming off itself. There's Bravery Charm for Maractus. Look at the size of it. And we see a corner. Aha. So, Arven for Ultra Ball for leaves, but I want to only do leaves when I'm taking out Genesect, right? Because I don't want them to just go re-establish Genesect, counter catcher, corner. So it's this and this to hand. Knowing that I can Ultra Ball boss KO the Jenny and try and open up Prime for myself. So it's this and pass, I think. The opponent has a lot of damage they can fling here. Looks like Miraidon is getting well and truly peppered here. All right. So this is at 140. But again, I need to take out Genesect, right? Let's jump in. Let's save the energy here. And that's it, I think. And then I can either booster the leaves, or I can retreat the leaves and keep booster for hands for this. Because they're at 150, and the Shroud will always put it back down to 140 for me. So I think I do that. And we boss this and amp it up. Bloodmoon is open for them now as well, don't forget. They actually have perfect math to beat me with Bloodmoon here. As long as they can move Maractus, because it's a 2 retreat cost. They can monkey the peak and just find Bloodmoon attach. But the Maractus 2 retreat cost is the only thing saving us, I think. Counter gain to Monkey Dory does give them Mind Bend. Nest Ball, and hopefully no Genesect comes back. And also hopefully no Bloodmoon. We do see a Counter Catcher. Energy to Monkey. Do they have Iono? Just research. So if we can draw into Prime Catcher, we win. I imagine they're not going to give us Fez draw here. Oh, they are going to give us Fez draw. Maybe they're looking for something in prizes. No Bloodmoon switch, please. More brain coming in. They're buffing up Monkey, but it doesn't matter. And just a pass. Okay. Right, we have a couple of abilities to try and get us there. Ah, well there's Fez already. All ready or not. We have one Arven and one Prime Catcher. And Pokégears. Don't forget those Pokégears. This is fine to just to play anywhere, right? If I thin the Joltik, I can lose on the spot. Do I lose on the spot anyway? 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 with this? No, so we do this first. I can thin a Mon, I guess. A Bloodmoon. He won't tank anyway. So maybe it's still this. And then it's the flip the script for 3 cards. Please. No Optimus Prime. Sad times. Let's attach. And sadly pass. We see an Artisan. If they have one more Monkey, they might be able to beat us. 16. No, not quite. Arven. Oh no, is this Genesect coming back? Oh boy. Just Night Stretcher, no tool. Don't grab Genesect, bro. It's a Monkey. 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15. 10 away. which means I have one Mew EX draw to win. The tension is palpable. Oh, I'm 20 away because they can't monkey the full amount. Here we go. Gear is really good. Gear, oh my goodness. If I take 2 energy out of the deck, I have improved odds for the gear. But I can't draw 1 with Mew. Draw 1 with Mew only wins me the game with exactly the Prime or the Arven. So I think I just have to give myself best odds for gear. Because I just have so many blanks that the draw 1 would hit. I just have to hit 1 Arven in a 21 card deck. Oh, huge. It's unbelievable scenes. The crowds are cheering. They thought it couldn't be done. I'll even bring up this one. Whew, skin of our teeth.